I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Dragons episode 41. We're going to continue on with our shrunk down, sped up season here. Get through as much as we can. We're into the later portion of the classic season now at the Amstel Gold race with a decent outcome when it came to race day condition bonuses. We're looking pretty good. Islamov has a +4. Hamad, brother number one, Hamad L versus Hamad F. I don't remember their first names off the top of my head. It's the first time we've had brothers. Now, in terms of how that actually works in the game, technically they're both just regens, and they both happen to be given the last name. There is no physical connection between them, and you have a very limited supply of names when it comes to that regard. Especially for smaller nations, their pool of names that are pulled from is quite a bit smaller, as we're seeing attempted attacks by late classics riders who didn't go in the initial. And for now, Peloton's already shrinking down. Actually, there's quite a few riders out the back, and not from crashes or anything like that. There's been very few crashes on the day. It's been pace. We had a breakaway of 6, get a healthy advantage, and we're seeing a lot of attacks and not really a proper response. I really don't want to be going from 40 out, but I think it's time that we at least contribute to the chase. Oh, okay, there you go. Chase has negated a lot of the attack, but definitely not all of the attack. There's still a few riders, Costafoi, Foss, Vingegard, Madawai have all attack. Venipol have attack. So yeah, there's that original break is done, and there's very much an attempted proper break here, and only some of those guys have been pulled back, and you're seeing the attack of more riders now. And you can see at times it kind of sits up after it catches some of the riders, but not all. This time, Garcia, Charmig, Kron all get away, and that's 7 riders now up the road. Less than a minute, though. Costafoi now trying to attack again. It's like we pull back some, and then the rest are like, okay, here you go. It's your turn now. Here's what we need to do, though. We need to recover our... Oh, yeah, we are just about mid-pack here for the entirety of this group. Let's set 85. Hamad, Gel, as your times, you're not going to last much longer. Really just 2 hefty climbs. The Kuttenberg, 600 meters, 15%. Very short, very steep. Hamad, give me an 82. Pretty good climber, 75. I mean, okay climber anyway. Domestiques are certainly feeling it. Let's gel up on these couple of guys, and then Hamad and the group breaks away again. Chu was partially responsible, but he was definitely not the only one who suddenly sat up. But we are off the front of the peloton at this point. Hamad's done. Just put him to auto. Locke is about to be done. Chu is about to be done. Sedenkaya is not going to last much longer. And we're 23 chasing a front 8 and 6. Now it's 28 chasing a front 6. But again, there's suddenly a group that wants to set up and not contribute. So Hamad is technically trying to contribute. 31 chasing. Locke has been dropped. Surprising considering how good he is, but that was also domestique behavior from him. 18k. How much strength do we have left? I mean, we have 3 contenders, but they're going for it. They're going for it. And I'm not seeing any response from others. It's going to be too late if we don't respond. So respond we will. We'll go say a 93. Sedenkai is going to lead this thing out. Hamad and Chu are done already. So Islamov, who's going to sprint the best. That's all I care about now, because the climbing is virtually done. 71, 77. Definitely not Hamad. And 69. So that's, yeah, Islamov is going to be the leader for the day. Kaya. Okay, good. That was not a full-blown attack. That was a negate the attack. Oh, come on. I had a 93. I rolled up, and it's at 77. Splitting the field again. It's an annoying habit of this game to do that. 15k to go, by the way. Still 7 off the front. and 6 of them are in a very strong position to be able to hang on to the end with 14k. Sankaya is done. Onto Hamad. And this is where it's important that we do push on. 12k to go. Definitely cannot go 99. We will get nowhere near the finish line if we do that. These guys now have a minute advantage. We're pulling it back slowly. And these are attacks. These are not guys trying to chase this. These are guys trying to attack. But our pace is negating that. 10k to go. Front group is attacking each other and splitting off. That's certainly good for our hopes. And now not cooperating, giving us a chance to come back at them. Red bar's gone for Hamad, but he's still got that yellow. And we are last little hill coming up. Gunai will take over once we get to the base of it. And Hamad will just try to follow. There's the base. 6k to go. Let's go 84. Islamov, gel. Poor guys. Sorry, I didn't get you reset. We're down to 39, chasing 1, so we've pulled back 5 of them. The rider that attacked the group second time. I was going to say, not important, but Kron. Kron's got pretty decent ratings. 72 for the sprint, 76 for the flat, and it's certainly punchy, but the climbing portion is done. And we still have a little bit of Red Bull to pull this back, and we've split the field. It's now a top 18, and Hamad is still there to help break toe, and it's down to 2.7, so Gunai is going to start his sprint to lead out Islamov, and then Islamov will go when it's time, which will be about now. Here comes the big wave of guys. Oh, it's so technical. I should have gone earlier, but it's still in a good place. We're going to miss the top 3. Not that much, but that for us is a fantastic... Oh, he got it. That's a lapped rider in there. Islamov gets 3rd. All right, we got a podium. Gunai gets 7th, so also very good points for that one. For a race that we didn't come in prepared for a race that we probably should have had low expectations on. I would have figured we can get into the top 10, but we have no sprinters here. Getting a podium, much better than expected. I mean, finishing ahead of Ironsman and Mohoric and Shockman, Vlasov outside of the top 12. Vandita down in 18. I mean, these are guys that are better than anyone I brought to this race. So, top 3, very good one. Very happy with that. Earlier than I was planning on coming back, but things happen. Yamamoto, Hamad, and Kang in 2 separate crashes right around the same corner has wiped out all 3 of them. We're going to put them on auto and focus on what's going on up ahead, as now just 29 riders remain in the peloton as we're about to hit the Murtahui for the first time. Up we go. The famous climb, probably one of, if not the most famous puncher's climb that you're going to see on the calendar, and we've gone up once. Field already back in contact momentarily anyway, but those back 3 trying to get back up there. There is enough time for them still yet to get back into this thing potentially. With nothing going on up at the front, I'm going to go ahead and take control of these guys. Yamamoto is currently at the front. Where is Kang? Right there. And Hamad. Hamad is the one that I really want to... I'm going to have these 2 just sit and hold and wait for Hamad to come through and try to pull them back up, as there is enough time to recover. And we've got a bit of a lull in the action. Now Kang can get picked up. And then Yamamoto onto the back end, as he is definitely one of our leaders for the day. Sucks that they've gone down, but do what we can to get back in this thing. Wow, we've seen another split, so there's actually another group that's formed up, broke off. It looks like it's just here, this echelon, just in front of it. Okay, gel for you, and let's make sure everything's good up here before we, yeah, as we're about to hit a climb. 79 is no longer good enough, and 83. Don't want to be pulling back a huge group. Let these guys kind of do it. Maybe just No, can't follow Caleb Ewan. Alright, now's a good time to push forward Hamad. And Hamad is done. On to Kang. Again, we still have a little while before we kind of hit that second lap and reset. So if we can get back to one more rider like Yamamoto to contribute later on, that's great. And if not, that's okay. That second group has regained contact now. It's just our third group that's still remaining out of this thing, or at least for the time being. It has split again, actually, so it's yo-yoing quite a bit. But we're now on a descent and then on the flat for a little while, so we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we might just have to drop them because we're heading into the next climb. So I'm going to go auto with these two once again. Not worry about them. We tried. But here's the zone where things begin to matter. Now, they are technically back on. They are technically back on. But again, with the... Okay, here we go up the Mer de Huy. Let's check in on those guys. How much progress have they made? Fair bit, actually. There's Kang. Oh, Yamamoto has lost the wheel of Kang, though. Of course. Of course. Lock. Let's go. And Hamad. Let's go. And Kang's done. So, Yamamoto on your own. Islamov is done. So we're down to 3 up there at the front. We'll kind of ride with Islamov a little bit longer and see if Yamamoto makes his way past him. You know, we could try to drop back and wait for this rider. Protect him. And there he is. Protect him for a split second. He's almost made it. And he's done. He's done anyway, so no good. We tried. Strength of the team very much waning without Yamamoto, but that's okay. We definitely didn't overcommit to trying to pull them back. We were just, if we could. Alright, we're down to these two. And punchier of them. We got an 81 with Hamad. We've got 79, but Locke has a much better mountain rating. Acceleration-wise, we got a 75 and a 77. So Hamad's going to be the leader, and Locke is going to protect him. That's your man. Senkai's been dropped, but it yo-yoed, and these guys regained. And all of a sudden, this group of 16 has actually made the slightest of escapes, but there is a chase to make that contact. But most of it is just the guys are not chasing, they're just attacking and going off the front. So that's not helping us much, is it? Locke, Gel, he's going to have to chase. It's just not working out the way it could or should. It's one after another. Guys are trying to attack and gain separation, and nobody's actually chasing. It's just all these attacks, all these solo attacks. You can see there's nearly a gap in front of us here. There is a gap shortly behind us, so good thing we are trying to move forward, as we would have been in that group of 26. 2 riders off the front are Stepan Vicious and Pidcock. I could probably say it on another day, but not this day. 25 seconds is their advantage. It's minimal. 7.5K. 2 hills to get through, and I want Locke to be at the base of the second hill of the Mer de Huy, so we don't want to totally drain him out here. This is more about trying to hold a position. We can see we're drifting back right now, which is okay. Arnsman, Brenner. Over the top, then you can start pushing. And Hamad gel. Okay. Checking back in. It's still those two. Pidcock has lost him by 4 seconds, but they are just ahead of us. And Hamad has full red bar. And Locke has gotten us to the base. And Locke is going to sprint. And he's going to help Hamad a little bit. I'm not going to attack too early with Hamad. Now we attack with Hamad, as the Murdahui is rather vicious, and you can see how he's making his way back through the group. He's out of the red bar, but as we hit the top, he's got that little bit left to continue on and hold position and get us a top 5. And that's a hell of a result for Hamad. The favorite, Charmig, takes the win ahead of Vust, and then Pogacar. Yeah, top 5. Ahead of Lenny Martinez, and then Ryan Harris. Stepo Novicius has held on to 8th. Godu, Uchabrooks. I mean, we just beat some really good riders. Locke gets 15th. That's a great result for another top 5. In fact, we've had 2 really good races today so far. 60k to go here at Liège-Bastogne-Liège. It's a big race. It's a hard race. Our race day condition is very neutral, but certainly not bad, and we've really lucked out the last few days. But as we're hitting one of the bigger climbs of the day, a lot of guys are starting to run quite low on energy, and I do need to get water again. This is the best time to do that. Tung's kind of in the best shape, as the domestiques are pretty much used up, so we'll get Luc Tung to take care of that. And he's going to have to hit this climb to gain. It's going to hurt him a fair bit, which is why it couldn't be Kang or Yamamoto or Hamad, as, yeah, putting those guys all on auto, they're all done. Now we're going to be down to 4 here once Luc Tung gets back up here. Tung will take over as a domestique, and then I'll pick 1 from the other 3 to get involved in that. He still has not made it up here. What the heck, dude? All that time, all those kilometers. I mean, you just went through 25k and didn't gain, and we're starting to see first major attacks of the day, something that very much requires a response from these 4. So setting that up, Tung is going to do the chasing, and then now it's time to make that decision. Does end in a sprint, so you want somebody from those 3 who can do so, and none can, but Reddy's a little bit better all around. Hamad, I think with the race day conditions, is going to be a little bit better than Alpasov, so we'll go in that order. Of course, the guy that was on his wheel was not the one who would ultimately follow him, as 8 guys already have escaped, so we are looking at a response to that. There's definitely still climbing to do, but most of it's now behind us. You've got 4 uphill sections to navigate the rest of the way through this thing, as really there's kind of a double and a couple minors, and there's 1 serious steep. Down to 46, chasing those 8, plus 1 more guy off the front, by the way. 30k to go overall, though, is not going to be easy, so if these guys are going to push and attack, then that's fine. That's great. Let them push and attack, and we'll kind of sit on a little bit with Tongues, so we last a little bit longer. They are looking for some guys to participate, contribute. It's 39 off the front now, plus the 9 off the front, and we're about to make contact with 8 of them. Now it's 1 off the front. Tongue's done. Opsav, 27k to go. We're going to gel up for him and have him take over. He's not in a great position here, so let's get him to move forward. Tongue, if you can, follow behind. 25k to go now. Is this the steeper? No, not this one. But you're seeing another big acceleration, bunch of guys kind of going for it. Meanwhile, we're just kind of caught behind Arnsman. And 5 escape this time. Even though we have a distance yet to cover, the thing about this is there's two big downhill sections which make time go by quite a bit faster. But Alpasov, let's just hold that position as best we can. Tongue's been dropped, by the way. He is surrounded by Hindley, Globe, Monaco. That's a good group right there. Hamad's going to gel up. He's going to take over pretty soon. Alpasov is technically done, but his position is okay while we're descending. Hamad's going to have to take over. This is the big climb coming up in a moment. This is going to be the decisive moment of the race. And Alpasov has recovered slightly. Enough so to start pushing forward before we hit the climb, and then Hamad's going to fill that void in a moment. There he goes. That's it for Alpasov. Hamad gets caught behind Hagita briefly. We're not getting dropped here, but there's 5 guys off the front. That's certainly worrying. Hamad has made it through that. We've got another one to continue on with. And he is going to continue on at a 99. No red bar, but he's going to give it his all pace-wise, catching up towards Godot. Cutting that down to 4 guys off the front. And Hamad's position and pace is enough to set up ready for the end, but he's on his own. Hamad, protect if you can. Oh, those 5 escaped. Really? I thought we played that well, but those guys just cut a gap. Hamad's still here offering protection at least for ready, but we might catch those 6 still. Can we? Lucha Brooks. Evenipol. I mean, come on. Huge names. You guys should be leading this group. We're getting a little bit of recovery in, especially with that help from Hamad protecting. So I'm grateful for Hamad being here. 4K to go. 4K to go. Okay. So we're going to play this one out. Hamad now rides forward. I should have already gelled. Too late for that now. Okay, 2K to go. Hamad brought ready out front. 1.5, we're going to start our sprint. Oh boy, we don't have much red bar for this. Inside 1K, it's technical. Vust, Simmons, Vanderpool. Yeah, red bar's gone. Little early on my sprint. And this is the battle for 4th. We caught the other groups. Stannard, Ayuso. No sprinters today. Really no sprinters today. Reddy gets 15th. If I didn't go quite as early, maybe we cracked top 10, but it wouldn't have been much more than that without any sprinter in the group. And Reddy, Hamad. That was a tough race. It was a really tough race. I think we have to accept that 15th. Couldn't have done much more than that. Like I said, it looked technical, so I was like, okay, yeah. But Reddy was already pretty down end of the race, low green bar, low energy, so he had low capability for that sprint. Even though we were as fresh as he could be, we still managed to beat Evenipol, Ucha Brooks, and Hagita. And maybe if I go, 100 meters later, 200 meters later, maybe we crack top 10. But we definitely wouldn't have done much more than that. And with a 62 maximum speed, I don't think we would have done more than a position or 2 better than we were. So, all things considered, it is what it is today. We didn't have any +3s, 4s, 5s in the team. And so no one was well equipped to get through what was a very difficult race period. Disappointing to be that close, but I think ultimately that was the right position for us. We pick up with Eschborn, Frankfurt, and Tong, who's gone out the back thanks to a crash. He's regained contact with the chase group, and the chase group has just regained contact with the front group. So he is back in action here at Eschborn, Frankfurt, where it's ultimately a sprint race. most times. 5 climbs along the way. The hardest 3 are done. We're now into the penultimate climb, and while the domestiques are fading, the main group, main riders, are still there and, you know, hanging in there. We're down to 60k. Tung from here, I'm going to go ahead and have him get water. He'll drop back a little bit more, but that'll help him with recovery. It would have helped if he would have just dropped back a little as opposed to literally join the group behind him on the road intentionally. I don't think he's going to regain contact up there. No, there's no way. He's done. You're out. That means somebody else is going to have to get that water. 52k to go, but a climb coming here in just a second, which means really there's not much point doing anything with it. So Tung, don't expect him back. 77 in the peloton. Front 5, the break, still have a minute and a half, or a little over a minute and a half. Ahmad does not look like he's going to have enough, but if you back off now, plus, oh gosh, he's going to drop all the way back to not only Dai's group, but the group behind. Wait, why is Dai back here? Why is Dai back here? Dai was in the front group and comfortable. Did I visually miss it? Sure. I was assigning somebody to get water. You know, we have a group of 36 at the front. Chu is now going to be taking over as that leader unless that group comes back at us, in which case, you know, Dai is in that chase group. What is considered the peloton, what is considered the sprinters on the day, and they're 2 minutes behind. I'm going to put you back on just sitting. You're not bringing all those other sprinters back by yourself. If you're back, yay, we have our sprinter. If you're not, we have to rely on Chu. We got 40 now at the front as the breakaway riders have been caught. Hamad, not that he has much in the tank here, but he needs to protect Dai. That's 32 chasing. They're 2 minutes behind. I don't think they're coming back. Dai is such a poor climber that there was always a shot that that was going to be the case, that was going to happen. There's 75 here, though. I really don't want this group coming back. 3 guys, 9k to go, and a group that's all splitting up, and, you know, a lot of riders are struggling and falling out. We're down to 29 chasing 1 here. And I'd say it's time, 6k. So Demo's going to go first, and he's going to gel up, and we'll put him at a 96. Terraskin will lead out Chu. I definitely did not make it back. Not even close. Okay, 5.5 and 5. Demo trying to get us up into position just in time. He's nearly out of energy, but it's going to be about a one-man lead out, really. And he's out of energy, so on to Terraskin. We're going to go 98. It's still 3k. A little early for him to kind of full-on sprint on. There's still one guy 10 seconds ahead, but at 1.7. Am I going too early? Probably, but we have gotten off the front. And now Chu going for the finish line. Is he going to hang on over the chasing Garcia? Looks like he is. And Chu has taken the win. First Chinese victory that we've had, I think, period. Chu gets the win. We do it without Dai. Terraskin gets 8th. Folks, this is a World Tour race. This should be a boost for China. Wow. I don't know if I said it already, but I literally just spent 3 hours going through the database because we had our first dossier period. And so this is always that point in time where I go through each and every Asian nation, rider by rider, team by team, see it all. See the potential, see the current of every last rider. And that's a 3-hour process for Asia. I think it would be a little bit easier for Africa or South America with a smaller list of nations for sure, and not having, you know, like a China that have a ton of riders and no quality. Chu is the best rider in the nation, and he's just finally picked up a victory, a very big victory that will hopefully result in a, it's not going to be a plus. It's already a 9 in China, isn't it? it's not going to be a bonus. It's the training points that need to go up. That's a lot of points that he's earned today. Hopefully it'll be enough to make the training a 2 next season in a nation that's locked in at 1. As we've entered May and hit the end of our classics period, which means our points are going to back off a bit. You've got Dai and Chu both in the top 15 World Tour rankings. In the Super Prestige, Dai is 21st. That's huge for Taiwan. And Chu is now 27th. Taraskin is 30th. Lieberman is 33rd. And Fayez Hamad is in the top 50 as well. That's a lot of very well-placed individuals at this point in the season. And of course, they're going to be focusing more on the continental races of late, which means they should be able to perform those and hopefully continue to score some points. As a team, we are 4th in the World Tour. We are now 2nd in the Continental, as I haven't really focused on anything there, but Arkea Samsic is definitely scoring quite well. But more importantly, we are 3rd in the Super Prestige as a Continental Pro team. Last year, we were just hanging in there and, competitive. But this year we are established. We are pretty well established as Continental Pro, but we don't have a Michael Schechter. We don't have that one dominant rider to get you lots of wins. And yet here we are with a multitude of riders finding success, and it's been good to see. I mean, we have 8 victories on the season already. That's pretty impressive stuff. And consistently getting top 10s in those World Tour races where last year we barely managed to get any whatsoever. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.